Sixers win it! Wow!
Oh, man, Embiid just posterized Russell Westbrook.
You love the Philadelphia Eagles! Let me get a hell yeah!
What's up, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to Party on Broad. POB can be found on iTunes or Spotify. Hit that subscribe button, guys. If you guys are watching the YouTube here, joining us today is the Austin Krell. He is Krell TPL on Twitter. He is the host of the Feed to Embiid. Covers everything from the Sixers and the NBA with Mr. Brock Landis. Follow them on Twitter at the Feed to Embiid. What's going on, Krell?
Jordan Nwora. Jordan Nwora. Jordan Nwora.
I guess we're talking about Jordan Nwora today, obviously, and also joining us today is Thiago. Follow him on Twitter at tscobby. How you doing, Thiago?
Doing great, man. I know we're gonna talk some defense today, so I want to know what was with Michael Jordan saying that Gary Payton is a bad defender, man. I don't get that. That's an all-timer right there.
That's wild.
Guys are genius. Guys one of the best defenders in the 90s, man.
That gif of him like just laughing his ass off at Gary Payton is going to be sealed in immortality.
I'll tell you, man. Gary needs his own show.
On tap for today, we are talking Jordan Nwora. We're going to break down his college career. We're going to break down his strengths, his weaknesses, and we're going to talk the best fits in the NBA draft. My man covered this guy. He wrote an awesome article at thepaintedlines.com. Follow us on Twitter at BlueRootTPL if you love the NBA draft and Sixers development. Austin, start us off, dude. Tell us a little bit about Jordan Nwora.
His first name is Jordan. His last name is Nwora.
What is it good for?
And he is Jordan Nwora.
And that's it.
Cut the show.
If you don't draft him for any other reason, you draft him because his last name looks fucking sick on a jersey.
Hardcore analysis.
That's why I'm here. So Jordan Nwora, it was definitely one of the best shooters in the country this year. He had a massive uptick in his play from his freshman to his sophomore seasons. The one knock on him as of now that scouts that I've brought his name up with is that he didn't really have any kind of increase in production from his sophomore to junior year. So essentially, he's the same player he was last year. So how does that what does that arc look like in the NBA? If the progression isn't really linear. But, I mean, he shot 40.2% from three. That's sensational. Averaged 18 and 7.7 rebounds this season. So 6'7" shooting guard, small forward, rebounds well for his position. Shoots the ball great. There is a lot to like, but there also is a reason that people are low on him. And we'll dive into that more.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about Jordan Nwora's strengths. Lead us off, Thiago.
Yeah, Austin just woke up my dog. She's going crazy right now.
He has all the strengths because he's Jordan Nwora.
She heard the name and she just went crazy.
All the strengths.
So,
Deibs' daughter's first words are Jordan Nwora.
For me, I go straight to the size, 6'7", 225, a guy who can really finish through contact, can fight through screens. He's a very interesting guy in that shooting guard spot. And a guy who can really add another element of size if you want to go big. Superb rebounder. I think he averages over 7 rebounds a game. So if you want to go big, if you want to add shooting to your team, I think Jordan Nwora called Austin Nwora.
Oh God,
Jordan Nwora.
Jordan Nwora is the guy. I think, like I said, he finds ways to get his shot, and a lot of the times just sheer will and just using his size to get to spots on the court. So I would definitely call that out as one of his main strengths.
To me, when I think of Jordan Nwora, I think he's a very good scorer, man. This guy's really good at getting to the rim. He's really good at finishing. He has a floater. He's got really good touch. He's got a soft touch around the rim, which he uses often when he gets in the lane. He sees a help defender. Instead of taking a charge, he has that like beautiful little floater. He's got a high IQ. He's got really good awareness on the court. So he used that to play a big role in his scoring ability in college. And, obviously he can let it fly, man. This is a really good shooter. He's a really strong spot-up shooter, and he's got a high, quick release. So I think of all the things, I think of those things with Jordan Nwora. What about you, Austin?
You guys nailed it. I think he has good hair. That's
Not us.
It's a big thing, the good hair. I mean, come on. The hair is phenomenal. I think he is really – when he tries to move off ball, he's very, very adept at moving off ball. He knows how to navigate screens. He knows how to get himself open. And his shooting touch, I think, is just beautiful. I love his stroke. It's consistent no matter how deep he gets. He doesn't need a lot of space at all. It's a very minimal dip, and then the shot's already gone pretty much. So, I mean, he's going to be a terror. But I think the motor offensively of his staying active off ball, running around screens, going baseline to baseline, understanding when the defenders are turned on trying to look for an offensive rebound, you got to slide to the corner and let your big man kick it to you off the offensive rebound. It's weird because he knows how to do it. He just doesn't always do it. He gets caught ball watching a lot. Yeah. But I do like the theory of him for a lot of teams. But my concern would be the progression as, I guess, a more thinking player isn't really there for somebody who's his age. And if it is there, then he just doesn't put a lot of effort into showing it, get game in, game out. And I just wondered if there are going to be times when, like, if he's not shooting the ball well, what does he offer you besides that? Because he's slow. He is slow. Isn't that athletic?
Yeah.
I disagree with you about his finishing, respectfully. I don't think he's a great finisher. I mean, he's capable of finishing, but he isn't a guy who's going to blast you at the first step, get to the basket, and then dunk on you or finish a tough layup over you, like maybe a Tyshawn Alexander can. Mm-hmm. So if he's not shooting the ball well, and there were games that Louisville could have and should have won if he shot better, but he was literally out of the game down the stretch because he was disengaged from the offense, and he wasn't providing anything. So that's the team's best player, averaging 18 points a game as a junior, shooting over 40% from three, who isn't on the floor in the closing moments of a close game that they ended up losing. So what does that tell you? Yeah. So I like a lot of what he does, but there are some pretty concerning signs.
Yeah, Austin, you touched on my weakness. I just don't see this guy as an NBA level athlete. I think this is a guy that's really going to struggle against the faster, stronger wings in the NBA. He is 6'7", but he used that height and length a lot of times in college to get his shot off, and I don't see that translating. I don't like. He's got underwhelming speed, handle, athleticism. I'm just concerned that if he can get his shot off in the NBA, he doesn't move well enough laterally, in my opinion. So yeah, foot quickness, defense. What positions can he defend at the next level? This is a guy that I just have more questions for than answers. What about you, Thiago?
Yeah, I mean, I go straight to what you guys are saying. I mean, I'm thinking, like, you put him out on the court, teams are going to hunt him with point guards, with quick ball handlers until he proves that he can make an impact on defense. Can he do that? I don't think so. I think the athleticism is well below NBA level standards, but maybe there's some coaching points there that some coaches can bring out to his game. And again, on the offensive side, just that ISO scoring does not project very well in the NBA. So to what Austin was saying earlier, I think within an environment where it brings out cutting, moving, baseline action, I think he can maybe thrive because the shooting seems to be legit by all accounts. So it goes straight to the athleticism, and how can he project that into the NBA through better coaching, perhaps?
Any reaction to that, Austin?
I agree. I also think that even if he's having a bad offensive night, his defense is like on ball. He's okay, I would say. He does get beat often because he doesn't have the quick feet. The lateral quickness isn't there. His defensive, I guess, awareness is pretty god awful. There are a lot of times, a lot of instances that I call it where he wasn't looking the right way, or his head wasn't on a swivel, staying active. He would often overplay or underplay given the matchup. And there were a lot of times where he could have made a closeout but didn't. And it resulted in an open shot. So I think if he's not shooting the ball well, there's literally no reason for him to be on the court.
Go ahead.
It's interesting you said that you think his defense is going to be okay, because who do you think he'll be able to defend at the next level? Like, can he chase a guy like JJ?
I don't think it's going to be okay. I think there's going to be a lot of times where he gives up backdoor dunks to guys.
Okay.
But I also wonder how much of it is understanding and like physical limitation versus I'm checked out. I'm here to shoot the ball. I don't really care.
Okay.
And so, that would be my main concern. But again, none of this matters because he's Jordan Nwora. Jordan Nwora.
Awesome. All right. So we went on from weather-related scouting reports to chanting scouting reports. This is what we do here, guys. This is what we do here.
Hair as well. Hair is a big grader.
And the hair, not us. Except for Thiago. On point, man. Jesus Christ.
Dude, my hair
I got the Roco curls going. I look good. I don't care what anybody says.
All right. So let's talk about best fits for Jordan Nwora. I'll lead off. I personally see Jordan Nwora as a second rounder. I'm looking at teams at the top of that second round, and my first go-to here is the Chicago Bulls. Otto Porter can't stay on the court, and he's by far the best wing on the Chicago Bulls. The wing spots on the Bulls are woefully thin, and they currently have the 47th pick in this year's draft. It seems like a really good area for Jordan Nwora to go, develop his talents, and provide Chicago with some wing depth. How about you, Thiago? Any good fits for Mr. Jordan Nwora?
Jordan!
I don't know how I can follow this. I like Brooklyn a lot, and the reason why I say that is you're going to have two guys who are going to be highly, highly ball dominant in Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. So you want a guy who's going to be able to play off that. And they made two financial commitments, one to Spencer Dinwiddie and one to Karis LeVert. And I'm not sure they're getting the most out of those investments. And I think it may be beneficial for them to trade perhaps a guy like Karis LeVert, who's a more ball dominant player, and try to get some more complementary pieces around Kevin and Kyrie. So again, Jordan, bigger, two guards similar to Karis, can shoot off the catch and do those sort of things and be less ball dominant. I think that fit in Brooklyn would kind of work pretty well. And again, as a second round value.
Also second round. Okay, go ahead, Austin.
So I would think that, for me, the best fit would probably be the Szechuan Long Dragons of the CB.
So that's how you really feel about him.
So no, I mean, I had three teams that I thought would make a good fit for him, or at least an interesting fit. I think the Sixers would be a really interesting fit for him in the second round. At first, I was probably way too high on him because he was my first evaluation, and I was like, well, who am I evaluating against? A brick wall? Okay, well, I guess that's pretty good. So, I mean, I do like Nwora for the Sixers. I think he would be, a really nice piece. Again, my concern would be they don't have the depth to like not have a guy who they can't play because he's not hitting the broadside of a barn. And so that would be a concern. But I think his 3-point polish would definitely be helpful. The Heat, interesting team. He's gonna love it when Jimmy Butler like kicks him in the back of the knee for not playing good help defense. But I do think you could trot out lineups with Bam, Myers, Leonard, Derrick Jones Jr. and they're different versatile wings, and then have him be there with Duncan Robinson, Tyler Herro. And you could make a lot of interesting lineups there. And I also think the Lakers would be a really interesting fit. I know I gave 3, but I thought those were all really, really great fits. So the Lakers would work because he would just get traded later because LeBron would find somebody else he wanted on this team. But I think anywhere you could get a shooter with anywhere you have LeBron James and a stretch 4 who's being misused. Take you. Anywhere you have a stretch 4 and LeBron James, you're going to need spot up shooters, and I think he can fit in that role. But I think you're looking at a deep second-round pick. I think there's a lot of good there with him. There's also a lot of bad in a lot of scenarios where you just can't play him.
Last up, I got the New Orleans Pelicans, man. The Pelicans need a backup wing. Currently, they have several reserve wings that could be on their way out this offseason. Antoine Moore, Kenrick Williams, Frank Jackson. I think the Pelicans would look to add wing depth. They currently have the picks 39 and 42 in this year's draft. So that's a really good spot for Jordan Nwora to get kind of a backup wing spot there with the New Orleans Pelicans. All right, let's wrap it up. Follow my man Austin on Twitter at KrellTPL. Check out the feed to Embiid. We were just talking about who, Austin?
Jordan Nwora. Jordan Nwora. Jordan Nwora.
Oh, man. All right, so that is the feed to Embiid at the feed to Embiid on Twitter.
That's what you get to look forward to on the next episode of the feed to Embiid. Just me screaming Jordan Nwora at the top of my lungs and clapping. You should all listen and subscribe, of course.
Follow my man Thiago on Twitter. He is T Scabia. For Austin, for Thiago, for myself. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay awesome.
Sixers winning! Wow! Oh, man. Embiid just posterized Russell Westbrook.
You love the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me get it.